New Chengzhang. So New Chengzhang is a cloth merchant in Jiangxi. His wife, surnamed Zhang, had a son and a daughter. New Chengzhang died of illness at the age of 33. His son, New Zhang, was only 12. His daughter was only 8 or 9 years old. Mother can't keep the ritual. Sell the family stuff and marry it. It's hard to survive with 2 siblings. Mr. New has an uncle and sister-in-law, who is 60 years old and is alone and without support, has taken in 2 orphans to live together. A few years later, the old woman died, making life harder at home. Mr. New grew up wanting to follow in his father's footsteps, but struggled without money. At this point, her sister married a wealthy businessman named Mao and begged her husband to lend dozens of coins to her brother. New Zhang followed others to Nanjing, where he ran into sea bandits and ran out of money. He couldn't go home and had to roam. One day, I stumbled into a pawn shop and saw that the owner looked like his father. When I came out, I went on a secret visit and asked him if his last name was his father's. Mr. New was so surprised he couldn't understand why. Just wandering around the pawn shop every day to see if the owner was responding. The landlord ignored him. After 3 days of observation, New Zhang's joking behavior was his own father. I don't dare to admit it, so I introduced myself to the servants in the shop and asked them to come to the shop as their hometown. After the contract was made, the landlord looked at his name, his home address, and seemed to be struck by where he had come from. New Zhang gave his father's name in tears. The owner listened and was moved, as if he had a heart. After a long time, I asked, "How's your mother?" But New Zhang didn't dare to say his father had died, and replied politely, "His father left for business 6 years ago and hasn't come home yet." Mother changed her marriage, but she was raised by her aunt, otherwise she would have been buried in a ditch. "I am your father," the owner said, in a tragic voice. And so father and son held hands, saddened. Later, his father led him inside to meet his mother-in-law. After Mu Ji, in her 30s and childless, New Zhang came and was happy to entertain him at an indoors dinner. Ever since Mr. New arrived, Mr. New has been sulking and wants to go back home. Worried that no one was taking care of him, Mr. New led his son through the shop. After 3 months, he entrusted all the books in the shop to his son, who rushed to reassemble the shop and return to his hometown. After his father left, Li Zhang told his mother-in-law that his father had died. My mother was surprised to hear, saying, "He came here in business, used to be friends with him, and left him to open this pawn shop. How can he say he's dead after 6 years of marrying me?" Mr. New gave another detailed account. Both men are suspicious and do not understand why.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.